The Thing. In Antarctica, a research station uncovers something frozen for thousands of years, and it isn't dead. It's a creature with no single form. It consumes and becomes whatever it touches. Human, animal, flesh, blood. Identity itself dissolves into imitation. At first, the team thinks it's a monster to fight, but then the paranoia begins. Who's still human? Who's already gone? They gamble on a heated wire blood test, because even a drop will fight back. Soon, trust collapses. Friends look at each other with suspicion, hands shaking, weapons raised. Cosmic horror isn't just in the alien, it's in what it does to us. The Thing doesn't need to conquer humanity, it only needs to exist. Left unchecked, one cell could consume the planet. Its spaceship buried beneath the ice is just a reminder. We're not special, just another step in its endless cycle of replication. The film ends not with victory, but with silence. Two survivors trapped in the snow staring at each other through frozen breath. Neither knows if the other is human. Neither knows if they've won. That ambiguity, that hopeless uncertainty is cosmic horror distilled, not knowing if the world has already ended. Prince of Darkness. In a forgotten church basement, scientists discover a swirling green liquid sealed in a canister. Something older than mankind, older than religion, maybe older than reality itself. At first, they think it's Satan, but the truth is worse. It's an ancient cosmic force using humans as tools. Those who come near lose their will, reduced to nothing more than transmitters, typing or speaking the entity's messages without thought. Every night, a tachyon broadcast bleeds into their dreams. Footage from a future trying to warn the past. A shadow in the doorway, a shape trying to cross over. Mirrors ripple like water, becoming gateways to another realm of black liquid. At the climax, a hand pushes through, only to be stopped, barely, before it emerges. But cosmic horror isn't about the jump scare, it's the implications. If scientists can send warnings through dreams, that means the timeline itself is fragile. If something this vast exists beyond our world, then our science and faith mean nothing. And if the warning changes at the end, was the danger really stopped? Or did the future just slip further out of reach? The Empty Man. It starts like an urban legend. Teens blow into a bottle, summon something called the Empty Man, and vanish. But the truth is stranger. Behind the ritual is the Pontifex Institute, a cult that doesn't worship a god. They study a force. They believe reality itself is shaped by thought, and the Empty Man is just a symptom of something larger. The source, an incomprehensible entity beyond time and space. The real revelation comes when the detective we follow, James Lasombra, learns the truth. He isn't real. His entire life, his memories, his grief, fabricated. He is a tulpa, a thought form, created by the cult as a vessel. His existence proves their doctrine. Thought plus concentration plus time equals flesh. And that's where the terror lies. Not in the Empty Man itself, but in the realization that our lives, our memories, even our identities could be illusions shaped by something beyond us. The cult doesn't serve this power. They don't hope for rewards. They simply accept that they are pawns in a universe too vast to understand. That indifference, upon the cold isness of the source, was upon is pure cosmic horror. Not evil, not good, just utterly beyond us. No, at first, John Jacket looks like a UFO, a classic flying saucer circling the skies above a lonely ranch. But it isn't a machine. It's alive. And it isn't here to communicate. It's here to feed. Jean Jacket isn't an alien invader we can understand. It's a predator with rules that make no sense. Eye contact enrages it. Its body expands and shifts into forms we can't categorize. When it feeds, people are sucked screaming into a void that feels endless, alive, digesting, and inescapable. The terror isn't just its power, it's what it represents. Humanity assumes we can classify, tame, or study nature, but Jean Jacket reminds us some things will never fit into our categories. Ranchers, scientists, filmmakers, none of them matter to it. We're not prey out of malice. We're prey because that's all we are. And when the survivors think they understand its mechanics, it unfolds again, revealing another form, another truth. Jean Jacket is not a spaceship, not a monster, not anything we have words for. It's a reminder that the sky itself might hold predators we'll never comprehend. Look up long enough, and something might look back. The mist. The storm seemed ordinary, but when the mist rolled in, the world changed. At first, the people in a small town think it's just bad weather. Then the creatures come. Insects with acid stingers, tentacled beasts, things that defy biology. They don't hunt out of hatred. They simply exist. This is cosmic horror at its purest. Humanity caught in the path of something that doesn't care if we live or die. But the real nightmare isn't the monsters outside, it's the collapse inside. In the supermarket, fear spreads like infection. A self-proclaimed prophet rises, preaching that the creatures are divine punishment. Neighbors turn on neighbors. Reason breaks. Humanity devours itself before the monsters even break down the glass. The ending seals the dread. A father, out of mercy, kills his son and companions rather than let them suffer. Moments later, the mist clears. Soldiers emerge. Rescue arrives, but it's too late. The tragedy wasn't the monsters, and it was the futility, the realization that hope can vanish just minutes before salvation. That cruel indifference of timing, that the universe could mock us with seconds, is why the mist lingers long after the fog fades. The Jaunt. In the near future, teleportation changes everything. It's called the Jaunt. Step in here, arrive instantly there. Safe, efficient, revolutionary. But there's a rule. You must be unconscious during the jump. Why? Because the body arrives instantly, but the mind doesn't. Consciousness stretches into eternity across the void. Not seconds, not minutes, forever. Early experiments showed the truth. Animals came back broken. A mouse staring ahead, inert, alive but hollow. Human test subjects emerged screaming, their minds shattered by endless isolation. One whispered, "It's eternity in there." A father tells this story to his children before their first jaunt. He assures them, "Sleep through it, and you'll be fine." But his son rebels. Out of curiosity, he stays awake. When he emerges, his hair is white. His face is aged and twisted. He screams endlessly. "It's longer than you think." Longer than you think. The Jaunt is simple science fiction on the surface, but its horror isn't the machine. It's the truth it reveals. That eternity exists, that consciousness is fragile, and that even a glimpse into infinite nothingness can destroy us. One wrong blink, and you might be awake for forever. At the Mountains of Madness, in the icy silence of Antarctica, explorers discover a buried city older than humanity itself. Its walls are carved with impossible angles, its murals telling the rise and fall of a species called the Elder Things, beings who shaped life on Earth before mankind crawled from the mud. But the deeper the explorers go, the clearer it becomes. They were never meant to see this. The ruins stretch on endlessly, hinting at structures so vast the human mind can't grasp them. And then they find the creatures themselves, preserved, waiting, some still alive. But they are not the true terror. What drives men mad isn't the Elder Things, but what they worshipped. A greater presence hinted at in murals and shadows. The Shoggoths, creations turned rebels, and behind them something older still, slumbering beneath the ice. At the Mountains of Madness is pure cosmic horror because the explorers never defeat anything. They survive by fleeing, knowing they've seen too much. The message is simple and merciless. Humanity is a footnote, a latecomer to a world shaped by others. We were never the first. We were never in control, and the real masters might still be here. SCP-3001. It begins with an accident. A researcher slips sideways through space and doesn't land anywhere. Instead, he falls into SCP-3001, a thin red void, infinite and broken. There is no ground, no air, no time. Physics fails. Directions collapse. The body holds together only because it remembers how. Sound drags behind like an echo trapped in syrup. At first, the man clings to survival by routines, repeating his name, counting, reciting facts. But slowly, reality edits him. Food vanishes, memory blurs, loneliness grows until it's louder than silence. In this realm, belief shapes existence. If he believes in weight, he weighs. If he believes in forward, he moves. But belief burns energy, and energy runs out. SCP-3001 is cosmic horror without monsters. There is no creature hunting him, no god punishing him. There is only the collapse of rules themselves. The red reality is terrifying because it isn't malevolent, it just is. A glitch, a pocket of broken reality, a reminder that the laws holding our world together are fragile. One slip, one crack, and you might fall forever into nothing, watching yourself slowly fade into non-existence. Bloodborne's Nightmare of Mensis. In the game, Bloodborne, there's a place called the Nightmare of Mensis. At first, it seems like another twisted gothic environment, but then you notice the sky. A red moon hangs overhead, pulsing with unnatural light, and in the distance, vast shapes stir. Creatures too large, too alien to fit the frame of human vision. Their gaze alone is lethal. Look too long and your mind collapses. This is Frenzy, the in-game mechanic for madness. The nightmare isn't just a setting, it's a world cracked open where hidden truths bleed into view. The scholars of Mensis tried to reach out to the Great Ones, hoping for knowledge. What they got was revelation. They became husks, brains swollen, bodies ruined, trapped in endless worship. The horror here isn't just the monsters, it's the consequence of knowing. In Bloodborne's universe, to study too deeply, to look too closely, is to invite insanity. The Nightmare of Mensis is cosmic horror visualized. The sky itself is wrong, the air is poison, and knowledge is death. The world isn't hostile because it hates us. It's hostile because we were never meant to see it at all. Event Horizon. A prototype starship vanishes during its first gravity drive jump, then reappears years later drifting near Neptune. The rescue crew boards expecting bodies or a malfunction. What they find is worse. The Event Horizon didn't just travel through space, it punched through reality and came back with a destination trapped inside it. Hallways sweat frost like a morgue. Log entries devolve into ritual actual violence. The gravity drive thrums like a heart that isn't human. Crew members see visions tailored to their guilt, not ghosts, but responses, as if the ship is an organ of a realm that learned them in a single look. This isn't hell in the religious sense. It's a dimension of pure, predatory chaos where pain is a language and anatomy is optional. The ship is now a doorway and a missionary, eager to reopen the wound it made in the universe. That's the cosmic terror. No monster to stab, no motive to negotiate, just the realization that our technology brushed the edge of something vast and indifferent, and it noticed. Even if you scuttle the hull and kill the lights, the idea remains. Somewhere out there is a place that wants us, and all it needs is curiosity, a power source, and time.
Subscribe for more interesting stuff. Tell us your experience in the comments.